Well, hello, Chubs Gone Wild listeners. Welcome to another fun-sized edition of Chubs Gone Wild. This is episode 443, recorded on May 10th, 2022. Oh my God, we're already a third of the way into May. It's gonna be May. Okay. Well, it is currently 57 degrees and partly cloudy outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 174 days till Halloween, 229 days until Christmas, and only 175 days until TJ Zombie Girl frees herself from the shackles of the workforce and retires. I'm so excited. I think she'll give us something.
Like what?
I don't know. When
Why
people
would she
retire,
give us
don't they
something?
give gifts?
Why would she give us something?
Because we're nice.
No. When you retire, people give you gifts.
Oh, well, then I need to retire.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people that give us gifts, though, Patreon offers a way for folks to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Stasage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Brother Sinatus, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, and Moose P. And please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame and consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month. Well, Tom, today was an important day in history, but I have to look it up what it is because, technically we were going to record yesterday when the Food and Drug Administration approved the world's first commercially produced birth control pill. Can you believe that? I mean, that's insane. That was 1960. But that's not today. Today is May 10th, where the Transcontinental Railroad was completed, which unified the entire United States together.
Right, in Utah.
Well, we'll forgive it for doing that, but at least, hey, you know what?
Well, no, this was a big thing. This put the East Coast and the West Coast together so people didn't have to take a stagecoach across the country or sail around. Did they even have the Panama Canal? They probably had to go all the way down.
Actually, no, they went all the way down the Horn because I had a number of relatives who came out here and they had to sail around the Horn. There's little stories and stuff about it in the family.
Yeah, it's Promontory Point, Utah, is where they nailed the Golden Spike. And there used to be this great restaurant here in town that was open. It was only open for breakfast and lunches, but on Saturday and Sunday nights, they'd open at midnight to get the bar crowd. And so one of their things that they had was the Golden Spike, which was a huge piece of chicken fried steak with eggs and potatoes and everything was covered in gravy. It was fantastic. And so whenever May 10th would come around, everyone would go and get the Golden Spike at the restaurant. So
that is really interesting because it says here that they met in Utah and a drive the ceremonial last spike into the railroad line that connects the railroads.
And I also knew that because that was my father's birthday too today.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's very cool. I hope he's having a happy birthday.
104.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, so I love that. I love that you just knew all that. It's so great. Well, let's see if we accidentally celebrated some holidays today. Today was Clean Up Your Room Day. Nope. Lipid Day. Nope. I don't know. Also, Shrimp Small Business, Sex Differences in Health Awareness. Well, kind of. Let's see. Trust Your Intuition and World Lupus Day. Man, lupus is a fucked up disease. All right. Today's affirmation, somewhere around here. Here we go. I stand in truth, and I live and move in joy. Okay, we'll go with that. And we also have a lot of birthdays coming up because apparently 9 months ago, a lot of people were, if you know what I mean. So today's birthday is happy birthday, Alice. And also we've got that, here we go. We've got, Steve from Scotland's birthday. Also Cleaver, AJ, Zach, Jude. Oh, we worked with Jude back in Hedwig, guitar player. Oh, so anyway, also we have John, David, another David, Eric, Miko, Aaron, and Mitch. Happy birthday, all of you. Wow, not as busy as I thought it was 9 months ago. Anyway, I want to send out, we didn't have anything in our feedback, but I definitely wanted to send out some chub hugs to our Patreon and friend Clint, who had one of his pups pass this last week. And what you got?
Wait, you said hugs like more than one.
Chub hug. Yeah, I like sending out multiple hugs to people.
You just send it out to Clint.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Many, many hugs I sent out to him.
Well, I want to send a hug out to my sweet husband who brought home COVID.
Oh, it'd be better if he brought home like, Shanghai Garden or something.
Oh, well, that he brought home Makuni, so.
Oh, so you stopped and spread it around Makuni's before coming home, huh?
Girl, it's curbside pickup.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're just being mean.
Well, I learned from the best. So, Brian. Anyway. All right. Moving on. Well, wait, no, not moving on. Did you have any that you want to send out other than Sean?
What, isn't that enough?
Well,
Clint.
Are you going to give him multiples?
No, I'll send one to Clint.
Okay. Well,
because that seems to work as hugs for you, but I have to do multiple now.
Well, I mean, it was very trying. He did, lose one of his pups. So
yeah, well, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Really
yeah, but you said chub hugs.
I mean, at least you got Makuni's.
That's chub hug.
Debatable. Anyway, well, let's talk about some queer news. Doctor Who, BBC names. Oh, girl,
yeah.
I'm gonna butcher this
Somebody
one.
new.
Nakutikatawa. Anyway, as the new Time Lord, the 29-year-old actor will take over from Jodie Whittaker as the star of Doctor Who. The BBC has announced Scottish actor, which means I think that's the fourth Scottish person to play the Doctor. He was born in Rwanda and will become the 14th Time Lord. And of course, some are happy and some are not, that because he is a black man, a British Rwandan.
No, he's a.
Yeah, what?
He is a Scottish.
Oh, you're right. Absolutely, he is a Scottish Rwandan. Anyway, he's done some work in sex education that a lot of people said he was really, really good in. But the thing that disappoints me the most about this is that so many people are just hating on Jodie Whittaker. They're just so glad that she's leaving, and I don't get it. She was a good doctor.
Everyone's got something to complain about. Don't even worry.
Yes.
It's not even, it's like, it's everything. Everyone goes, well, there's a bunch of people that really don't like that. Well, that's because there's always going to be a bunch of people that don't like something.
That's true, but us.
When you bring Chris Pratt. Yeah, I know what it's like. Chris Pratt. Get rid of him. Blackball him.
I never said that.
Well, you didn't say blackball him, but you said cancel him.
I didn't say that either. I
Oh,
would
okay.
just be
All
very
right.
happy if
Okay.
he renounced his stupid
Obviously, you've got
homophobic
COVID brain because you're forgetting things.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're forgetting things because you got COVID brain.
Mhm.
Anyway, moving on. Doctors could go to prison for providing healthcare to trans people in Alabama. Doctors who provide gender affirming care to trans young people could get 10 years in prison if this law passes, and it is a first of its kind law.
Well, they're just the new law in Louisiana is if you have an abortion or you assist an abortion, it's called murder now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you'd be a murderer for getting an abortion in Louisiana.
I just don't. Anyway, yeah.
But there needs to be some more Lorena Bobbitt stories happening because these men, mostly men, are causing this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have their wieners, then guess what? They don't get anybody pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you, these fuckers, if they got somebody pregnant, they would fly them on vacation to California to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
A mistress,
Yeah, you would think that politicians of all people would be okay with abortion. Anyway,
it's just the way to get the religious right to the GOP side. That's all this is. They don't really give a shit. They just want their votes.
Yeah. So they can make more money.
It's a technical thing. No, so they can get more votes because nobody else likes them.
Pansexual art teacher fired after allowing students to draw pride flags. The teacher wanted students to take pride in their identities. Instead, she was forced to destroy their work before their eyes.
Where was this at?
Does not say, but I believe it was in one of the red states. Anyway, all right. And now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Let's see. Let's see. We started watching a new show called Slow Horses on Apple TV, and it was pretty slow. So the name works. Okay. I may give it another episode, but the first episode was like, oh my God, nothing is happening here. Come on. This is the pilot. This is where you're supposed to grab me.
Right.
Okay. Still working on Frankie and Grace, almost at the end. Let's see, American Idol, we're down to the top 5. So I think there's 2 weeks left. I think they get rid of 3 people next week, and then the final week they have the final week. Okay.
Who's your desired pick?
Nobody anymore. I guess the big girl who sang the Ursula song, because I hate everybody else. Well, I do like the other girl, but she's fine, but she's not like amazing for me. Mm-hmm. And then it's the Noah, who's the cute country boy, and there's Fritz, who's got a little moppy hair, and the girls love him. And then there's Hunter Girl, who Sean thinks is going to win. He's been saying she was going to win from the beginning. So it's going to be, and they're all country, or Fritz is more of a kind of a singer-songwriter kind of guy. So, but that tends to be like folky kind of thing. So it's going to be one of those 3, I'm sure, because anyway, Masked Singer this week, they got rid of 2 more people in the 3rd round of people. So the Queen Cobras ended up being in vogue.
Oh, and, wow.
Yeah. And oh my God, first of all, these women are, well, they're probably in their 40s, at least. And they had first of all, they're in these really tight outfits, and I'm like, oh my God, look at the bodies on these older women. I don't know how to say it nicer, but they looked fantastic. So that was kind of cool. And then the Space Bunny ended up being Shaggy.
From Scooby?
Yeah, not that Shaggy.
Oh, okay.
Some singer,
Wow.
some singer Shaggy. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I met him in the corner. Oh,
so the one that is left is the Frog Prince, and I think that's John Travolta.
of course, he would end up winning.
Let's see. Didn't write anything down for Survivor this week, so guess nothing was that interesting. Oh yeah, now I remember. It was kind of funny. They backdoored this guy, and he's like, he started laughing, and he's going, "Oh my God, you guys! I can't. Oh, well done, well done." And he was like very positive about getting voted off. Of course, I'm because he was sure it was going to be Jonathan, who, by the way, you need to see who Jonathan is when you get a chance. He is like 6 foot something big, and he's just all muscly and just he's a beast. He's a beast. So he thought it was going to be Jonathan. They all said it was going to be Jonathan, and then it was him. And he was such a good loser. And I mean, I would have been like, "Fuck you, people."
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, on Top Chef this week, Top Chef this week, they had their challenge. Did you see it this week?
Oh, yes, I did.
It was NASA food for NASA for the long flights.
Yeah.
And yeah, that woman, she needs to go.
Which one?
The one who should have gone last week.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, she should have.
So yeah, but it was kind of fun because I mean, I didn't know that, because they said, well, first of all, you can't use salt.
Right.
Because salt creates helps with the bone density that happens. If you ever noticed, when they come back from the space station, they are carried off of the landing thing,
Right.
because they can't walk, because they've been in zero gravity for so long that their bones, their whole body they need to actually be kind of trained to walk again.
Right.
Think of this, and I'll tell you exactly, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When you've been in the pool for about an hour or two, and then you try to get out of the pool, and where you were 60 pounds in the pool, now you're 230 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's just, oh my God, it's like, how fat did I get just stepping out of the water? And so that's kind of what happens to them. They don't have any opportunity to really do that. Anyway, so that was interesting. And so they wanted more spice and work around different ways of doing that. You can't have anything that's crumbs. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So no cookies, no crackers, no like toasted bread type anything. If you can take it out and put it right in your mouth, you can have liquid. But if you can't bite into like a chocolate covered cherry, and have the liquid start floating away from the center type thing. So I thought it was really interesting and challenging. So let's see. We started watching Bullshit with Howie Mandel on Netflix, and it's kind of fun. He keeps it funny, and they've got some really quirky people as contestants, so that's made it a little more fun. And I did see the end of Is It Cake? Have you watched that yet?
Not yet. I watched the first episode, part of the first episode.
Yeah, it's just I'm fascinated that they can make these things look the way they do. I really am. It was funny because even in some cases, even afterwards, and the judges went up and they know which one's the cake, they're going, how is this one cake and this one's not cake? I mean, this looks more real than that does. It's cool. And Mikey Day kept it funny, although I kind of wanted to hit him a lot. But now I think I love him. So I don't know. I'm confused. Let's see. Finished Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
Oh, right.
And the last episode made it worth going through the first 4 episodes, or first 5 episodes,
Oh,
because they were, the first episode was fine, and then it got kind of confusing in the middle and hard to follow for me. Just it wasn't. Since I had no familiarity with this guy at all, I didn't. A lot of times you go and be with Thor, and yeah, I already know. I got an idea about who Thor is, so that's cool. So anyway, finished Russian Dolls on Netflix. The last episode tied everything up into a shiny little bow, and it's like, it's not really the kind of show this show is. But I think what they were doing was they were tying it into a bow because there's not going to be any more.
Right.
That would be my guess, and that's why they're trying to close up all the storylines, kind of like what they did with Ozark. There's no more episodes, so let's take care of this.
Right.
Still love the ending. I know everybody hates it, but I loved it. And I'll explain it to you after the show, since you'll probably never watch Ozark.
Yeah.
Why it was such a cool ending. So, Heartstoppers is just the sweetest show. Now, did you finish it already?
I have not started it.
Oh, okay.
But I have heard so many people love it. Love it.
And it's so weird because it just, well, for us, it's like, how could this ever have come to pass? How are kids these days seeing a gay romance with high school kids or junior? I think they're high school kids, but still, I mean, I was scared to death through school.
I know
of being, figured out, and that my parents would find out, and the school would find out, and I'd be sent away to boarding school or La Entrada.
I remember writing when I was younger. I wrote a story about a gay couple in high school that went to the dance together and kissed, and they were applauded by the whole school in the hallway. And I remember Nephi reading it and saying, "This will never fucking happen in our lifetime." And well, here we are.
Yeah. Let's see. Although I remember in 2000, Chris went to the prom with his boyfriend. So
yeah.
Reference to a play I wrote, just for those that don't know. Let's see. Nikki Glaser has a new show on E! And Nikki Glaser is a comedian. She's a real dirty comedian, like, for instance, because it's like a Kardashian type show where we're finding about her life, and they follow her around with cameras. So it's not like it's a lot of show. It's all reality TV. And so she goes to the dentist, and she's got a female dentist, and the dentist is going, "Okay, well, Nikki, I'm going to put this. You're going to wear this in your mouth, and I would mention that that you could gag on this, but since you don't have a gag reflex, you're not going to have a problem with this." And she goes, "Oh, it's terrible when your dentist is watching your comedy, kind of stuff." But that's the kind of humor that she has. So the thing is, I saw her last year, August, and in Napa, and it was a really disjointed mess of a show. And it went on way too long. Most comedy shows should only last, even with your opening acts, it shouldn't go more than, it should be 15, and then you do a solid 60 minutes.
Right.
Well, the show started, it was supposed to start at 8, it started at 8:30, and we were getting in the car at 11.
Nice.
Oh, and it was just, anyway, she's so much funnier here, where she can just be herself and natural. When she's on podcasts, she's hysterical. And actually, she's used, a lot of her humor is quite a bit like mine, as far as what a whore she is. So And National Horrors Day is coming up, so
Yay! We all need to do that.
yeah. Let's see. The Circle is back on Netflix,
I saw something about that.
and what happened was they brought in a catfish that just happened to be Baby Spice and Sporty Spice, Mel B, whichever one she is.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been really cute them being on the show because, well, first of all, I don't know the Spice Girls because I was not listening to music in the 90s. I was revolting against pop music and only listening to country music. It was a weird time for me.
And there's some stuff, yeah.
So yeah, and well, because in Vogue, I just mentioned in Vogue, they were the ones that said never gonna get it, never gonna get that one song. I didn't know that was from them.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're catfishing on the Circle, and then it's just been really sweet. They even have a disco party where they're pumping Spice Girls music into all of the apartments, and then they go, oh, by the way, and they all of a sudden the girls pop up and they go, by the way, we're catfishing one of us, one of the people in your in your apartment complex is us. And they're like, oh my god, the Spice Girls, which I'm glad they at least know who the Spice Girls are, because one of the kids, he's playing his mother, and he mentions Rod Stewart, and no one knew who Rod Stewart was. How old does that make you feel?
Well, the only reason I knew it was because he came back with that Forever Young thing.
Well, and he drank all that cum at a bachelor party.
Oh, that was all rumor. Rumor.
Anyway, and then the American Songwriting Contest. It was just the thing is, the first 5 weeks you listen to these different songs, and then they cut it down to like a top 20, I think it was. Then they dropped it to the top 10, and I'm like, I've already heard all these songs. I don't want to hear these songs again. And so that kind of was weird. I wasn't excited enough to hear the songs again, so it's not making the show work. Saw 2 movies, Let There Be Carnage with Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
I thought was, well, the Venom shows are they're just not up to par with like Spider-Man and the other Marvel stuff.
Yes.
But Venom is so fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's so entertaining. I just love the way, it's like, let me eat them. No, you're not going to eat them. Just stop that. I want to eat them. It's just, he makes me laugh. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's a good character.
And then I saw Escape Room Tournament of Champions. And so this is the sequel to Escape Room.
Yeah.
And what they did was the 2 people that lived from the first one end up in a subway train with 4 other people that have won their escape rooms. Now, how they had made that work, I don't fucking know, but they did. And then it's like Saw, it's boring after, the first one was kind of fun. Yeah. And now it's just if you're going to do it right, I always thought that Final Destination they did it a little bit better. I mean, they did have a couple continuing characters that kept showing up, but eventually you would die. But at least it was waiting for the next death was more fun than watching quicksand, boring. So yeah, but it did have Angel from Pose, by the way, and she was playing a female character, not a trans character.
Yes.
Which I liked. And other than that, the girls are doing fine. And I don't have COVID, but I do have like horrible allergies right now, and that's what this is about. So just wanted to state that.
Well, that sucks. regardless. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you do
Well,
this week?
thank you for a wonderful report. Well, I didn't watch as much as I thought I was going to, but I did watch a few fun things. I watched the season finale of Call Me Kat, and wow, did they take that in a whole different direction than I thought it was going to go. It turned out that she didn't have a panic. Spoiler alert, she did not have a heart attack. She had a panic attack. And anyway, and then basically she decided that she's going to uproot her life and get rid of the cafe. And so the other characters took over the cafe and she went off to France. I'm just like, what? Anyway, it was not bad, but it does make me curious to see how the hell they're going to do, what they're going to do in season 3, which has not at this point been approved or denied yet. But given the ratings of the show, I imagine it'll probably come back for season 3 unless some of the actors just kind of say, you know what, But it's a great cast, so hopefully they'll come back and improve on the improvements that they've made in season 2. Top Chef we talked about. Yes, I agree with you. I don't know why they kept her. So, but maybe they're afraid to get rid of her. Maybe she's got something over them. Anyway, Elite. 5 seasons of Elite.
I hear that it's been renewed.
Yes, it has been renewed, and part of me went, really? But I don't know what to say about this show. It's interesting enough to watch, especially after 4 seasons. You're just like, okay, fine, whatever. Let's go with 5 because we're already this invested. But talk about a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-olds that act like they're fucking 45-year-olds in a mob, burying bodies, covering up shit. And then one person will say, oh, but we're just kids. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys are like more advanced than any American high school student out there right now.
Sounds like Ozark.
Yeah. Yes. And then another thing that I found interesting is that, of course, everybody's fucking in this. Doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter whatever. They're all drinking. They're all doing drugs constantly. And then of course, then they have this social commentary where they're like, you have a problem with date rape. You almost date raped me, but I'm going to help you heal. Oh. And then, of course, the one person who's all like, oh, you just need to leave him alone. He's of royal blood and royal people date rape people, so leave him alone. And then she gets date raped by someone else. And then the guy who originally date raped held her hand while she went in and reported her date rape. So at that point, I'm like, you guys are so unbelievable. But the thing that got me that I noticed that they're trying to be, I guess, sexually responsible because whenever the gay people are having sex, they always make a point of showing the condom and like ripping it off and like saying, yes, the gay people are using condoms, but none of the straight people use condoms. None of the straight kids who are like 16, 17 years old, they're just banging in restaurants, in alleyway, wherever the hell they can stick it in, they're doing it. But the gays, they always use their condoms. So I was just like, okay, whatever. It's a crazy show. Again, it's from Spain. If you like soap operas and a lot of male butt, there's a lot of young male butt in this. So there you go. I did watch the first couple episodes of the new episodes of Grace and Frankie. And I love it. I love that it's back, and it's going to be a fun watch, I think. And I'm looking forward to watching more of it. I did finish out season 2 of Picard. Wow. So overall, it is a really good show, and I love the whole Star Trek stuff and everything else. I was a little surprised by some of the aspects, and because it just came, the final episode just dropped, I won't do any spoilers. But they sure took some characters and some concepts into a whole new extreme that I'm like, how the hell does that fit into the Star Trek universe? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. But I did think the whole psychological thing of him and where the fuck Q fit into all of that, I don't fucking know. But the best thing was Whoopi and seeing Guinan when she was younger. That was really fun. So enjoyed that a lot. Switched to that to Halo. I think you had recommended that I give Halo a watch and see if I could figure out what's going on. Is that how you put it?
No, I said I was watching it and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. So I watched it, and I have never played the video games or know anything about the video games either. So I watched I think I watched the first 3 episodes last night. It was fun, and of course the guy was just.
Oh, did you get to see his butt already?
Oh, that shower scene or the bathroom scene, yes, and it was nice and gratuitous.
It was.
It was fun. But I actually really liked the show until they got to the whole AI thing of it. All right, I gotta pause. So I had to take a moment to calm the studio dogs. Anyway, Halo. So it was when they put the Cortana, whatever the fuck AI thing in him, that I was just like, all right, now this is stupid. You got this whole sci-fi, like serious, like shoot 'em up, blast body parts. You're just like, and now you've got some cutesy little AI. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I'll finish watching it and see if it goes somewhere. But at that point, I was just like, this is lame. Anyway, and then finally, I switched over and watched Hetty Winthrop Investigates on BritBox. Now, this is for those of you who don't know, what was her? Patricia Rutledge. She was the one who played Mrs. Bouquet from Keeping Up Appearances. And this is a 1995-96 series that she did where she played the Hetty Winthrop character, which was, she's a retiree, well, almost, she's a couple of years from retirement, her husband is, and she's kind of took the housewife position, and now she is an investigator. And and then she ends up bringing in one of the hobbits, the one that was in Lost. Remember Lost? Yeah, Tom's saying yes, he does. So anyway, it is him, and he is her little sidekick, and he is young, and he's playing 17. So, but he was still pretty young in that time period. Anyway, so the two of them are investigators, and it is based on books, and it's a nice show. It's just a nice older show, and it's fun to watch. And yeah, you don't have to think too much about it. Anyway, but you know what you do need to think about? Being loud, being proud, being too much, and being you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who have been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. Well, let's get into some advice here. Of course, this comes from Dear Prudie, slate.com. Go check them out. A year and a bit ago, I realized I was asexual. At least I'm like 95% sure. Figuring things out is hard. I might also be aromantic, but I'm less sure on that one. I've otherwise thought I was straight my whole life. My question is, am I allowed to go to Pride? For context, I am a cis and probably hetero-romantic woman, again, figuring out the romantic side of things. And I guess I just don't know if I'm queer enough to be there. I want to, but I also want to make sure I'm staying in my lane and not taking up space in a place in which I don't belong, especially because I've never really felt persecuted for my identity personally. I want to be the best ally I can be, and I don't know if I belong in the community. Obviously, no shame at all to any ace, ARO person who identifies as LGBTQ plus. I'm just unsure about myself personally.
Anybody can go. What the fuck?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, well, however you identify, you are welcome at Pride. There's no gatekeeper saying, how do you identify? We need to put your sticker on.
Yeah, I mean, now, depending on, she might get hit on,
yeah,
by a woman, if they're thinking, she's, a lesbian, because, unless she has that sticker, they're not going to know for sure. But if that doesn't bother you, then there's no reason not to go. I mean, usually
right.
the food trucks are pretty good, and
yeah, entertainment's decent,
yeah,
depending what year and who they could get.
Right.
But, she doesn't have to be like a, whoa, I'm a Saro man, which most people would be like, huh? So, yeah. Anyway, go have a good time and just be yourself. All right. Well, let's see what Dear Prudie had to say. It may be a semantic distinction, but it seems like you're talking about the difference between attending Pride and participating as a member of the community. One of the A's in LGBTQIAA stands for asexual. So the door is open if you want to walk through, but you're also perfectly welcome to stand in the periphery and support. Pride parades happen in the street and on sidewalks. I hear your concern about taking up space, but many prides are as much about building community as they are about creating safe space. So we need you there on the sidewalk or working a booth or making signs or signing petitions. So you'll know, I hope, the spaces that are specifically designated for the experiences that are only for people in the community. But I think you'll also find many places to simply be your full self, questions and all. All right. Delightful. Hey, Chubs, do you recycle?
Yes.
Mostly. Hey, Chubs, what do you get every time you go grocery shopping?
A hard-on.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Usually it's Diet Cokes.
I would say an excessively high bill these days. It's true. Every time I go shopping,
yeah, I mean, I don't get the same thing every time I go shopping.
Yeah, usually I would say the thing I get most is probably like milk for Mother.
Or vodka, if I'm going to Costco.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been to Costco in years and years and years and years and years.
Wait a minute.
Smaller.
No, you get the big one.
Oh, I usually do. Anyway, okay. Well, hey, Tom, take a guess. How many households had TVs in the 1950s?
I would say 40%.
Mm, well, if you're heading right for the middle, you're about on target. In 1950, 9% of Americans owned television sets. By 1955, 85.9% owned. So within a 10-year span, they went from 9% to 80, almost 86% of people household American televisions. Yes.
And it was weird when color TV came in, because it's like I was watching some show. Oh, I was watching the Lakers show on HBO, and they're showing old pictures, and they're watching black and white TVs in 1980, and I'm like, we had a color TV in 1965.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1965. We had a color TV. So it's like, that seems weird to me. I mean, maybe they're not, maybe they don't know,
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, because that I knew a lot of people that didn't have color TVs right away. Because, but my dad, I mean, we got back from Portugal, and he said, "We're getting a color TV," and I'm like, "Yeah."
That's pretty cool. I remember watching. We had a little. I mean, it was maybe 12-inch screen, maybe, in a little console that sat on the kitchen table, and then we had the bigger one in the living room. And when I mean bigger, I mean it was just like maybe 20 inches. And that one was color. And then my mom had a little one upstairs that was a little helmet shaped like a space helmet, and it was black and white.
Yeah, I mean, in my bedroom, I had a black and white TV, well into my high school years. But the TV, the console TV in the living room was color. And then not too far after that, the color, we had a color TV for the family room, which is where actually most of our days existed, were in the family room. So yeah, but it was a console in the living room. It was huge.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We never had we didn't have a console until I was about 16, and that was like somebody else's kind of broken one that they just kind of let us use. We didn't have like big screen televisions until well, I guess until we kind of moved here. So anyway, let's go ahead and find out what Mr. Moose wanted to talk to us about. Well, apparently he has some home-cooked food, including marinated chicken all day in a bourbon and brown sugar marinade. Wow. Grilled and served with homemade mashed cauliflower, seasoned with garlic, real butter, and cream. Damn, this was good, even if I say so myself.
Yeah, I'll eat that.
Yeah. Then have returned home and back to boring food. Gee, I miss my key lime pie. We went to Sunday Chinese restaurant, Sunday Chinese restaurant, and I ordered sesame chicken. You can get a glimpse of the hubby's current chicken in the background. It wasn't pie. Oh, it isn't pie. Yeah, it's not, but it looks really interesting. And then finally, roast beef sandwich with Swiss lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, side of fries. Now that looks really good to me. Anyway, and you can see how good these look by going over to facebook.com/chubsgonewild and checking them out. And thank you so much, Mr. Moose, for sharing what's in your lunchbox. So send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Look us up on YouTube. youtube.com and just type in Chubs Gone Wild. Well, please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. And again, another thank you for all of our patrons. And find Tom's movie and TV reviews, swanerjed.com. Find their podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Find out more about my books, justkisstheguy.com, and check out my other podcast at biggaysetshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen. I wonder when they're going to come out with another series, another season. I miss them. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. And Tom, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, me too.
And we will catch you all later. Bye.
Bye.